A little while later, Dr. David Gorman was allowed in.
He was struck with some heavy object of one sort or another, either club or rifle butt or something like that. He's very, very severely injured. It's possible that he could die.
The Army admits it crossed the Mohawks' perimeter.
We go and conduct reconnaissance patrol, and
but this time you got caught.
Well, there was an encountering, yes, but this is part of life.
The Army says 2 soldiers were slightly injured, and the reconnaissance mission wasn't the only sign of military pressure today. This sign appeared overnight, and it's directed at one of the better-known warriors. This is the first real violent clash between the Mohawks and the Army since the 2 sides started standing nose to nose almost a week ago. It's something that many people have been predicting. The military police say they're investigating the incident. Tony Ross, CBC News, Ganasatake.
So the only apparent movement today in this crisis was by the Army that moved in fresh replacements. There was talk of negotiations, but no breakthroughs. There is another potential problem shaping up, and that's to do with the warrior taken to hospital yesterday after a confrontation with soldiers. At that time, the Army gave the impression the man would be treated and returned to the barricade.
I'm going to promise you that he's going to be brought back as soon as he's okay.
But today, the Army said there was a later agreement with the Mohawks that the injured warrior may not be returned.
That until further order, okay, he will remain under our protection. So what will happen when he'll be released from the hospital? What will happen if the commander decides to do something otherwise? I don't know.
So the injured warrior could be charged. It's hard to say what the warriors behind the barricades are thinking, but outside the barricades there is talk of conciliation. At least one native leader says Mohawks are ready to drop demands for amnesty if the government works with natives in deciding what, if any, charges should be laid.
The Confederacy must be involved in the determination of the charges, if any. They must be involved in the determination of the jurisdiction.
But real progress towards a solution here is hard to find. In spite of it, there still seems to be a determination to avoid a shootout. For example, that warrior who was sent to hospital yesterday after a fight with an Army patrol, today, the Army said all further patrols have been canceled. Tom Kennedy, CBC News in Oka, Quebec.
Now to the work. Randy Horn appeared in a Montreal court today. Horn's the warrior injured in a scuffle with soldiers behind Mohawk lines at Oka last weekend. He's been in protective military custody since, escorted to and from sessions with provincial police. Horn emerged from court today facing charges that include rioting, possession of a weapon, and obstruction of justice in connection with the siege at Oka. Horn's wife, Stephanie, was also in court today. She's charged with obstruction of justice and participating in a riot. Accuracies.
The Indian Treatment Center near Oka, a besieged garrison of about 30 defiant warriors and other Mohawks. They are surrounded under constant scrutiny from above and incommunicado. Their telephones were cut off by a court order last week. The Sûreté du Québec, or SQ, had been tapping the Indian phones and said it had become convinced of a nationwide intertribal native conspiracy of destruction and mayhem. A quote from the investigator's statement to the court. I have reasonable and probable grounds to believe that the